this week on Quick Charge's Gorilla Christian. I got to speak to somebody who has thousands of followers on TikTok, who is a Christian and is all the way in California. I got to speak to Chelo. She was amazing, and we touched on subjects of bereavement, of faith, of mental health, and a lot more, and VeggieTales. So if you want to hear all about that, please stick with us. It's slightly longer than normal because I was speaking to somebody from so far away. We took the opportunity to get to know one another and to talk more deeply about our faith. So here we go. Welcome to Quick Charge, everybody. It is my pleasure this week in our episode of A Gorilla Christian to welcome Chelo. And it's amazing for me because Chelo for me is a bit of a celebrity. She may not feel that way. She's a total celebrity because she is on TikTok and has quite a lot more followers than I do on TikTok. So it was really cool when she answered my message and said that she would come on and do this. Chelo, can you just introduce yourself to the young people and whoever else watches this from our church and tell us a bit about yourself?
Sure. So as I said, my name is Chelo. I live in LA, California, so completely across the globe. And yeah, like I said, I don't feel like celebrity at all. I'm still really new to TikTok. I first started posting Christian content in January or whatnot. So it's definitely been an experience, but yeah, I think that's basically it.
part of your celebrity for me, and part of the reason why I followed you, is because obviously on your For You page, you just get sort of random things come up all the time that are things you might like, and yours popped up, and you just absolutely nailed youth workers with one of your posts, and I was like, hang on a minute. I clicked on your profile to watch your other stuff and was like, okay, yeah, she's pretty good.
I'm glad that it's relatable outside of the US.
Yeah.
Because I have no way of knowing how you guys do things over there. Like, it can be completely different. But the fact that you found it relatable.
Youth work practices are, I'm pretty sure, are worldwide. We're all sad to say pretty much the same, and slightly chaotic, but really good for you.
Very much so.
Cool. So the reason you're on is because I feel like we're going to chat in all different directions, which is a good thing. I will try and edit it down later on, but this could be a long one, people. Just letting you know. The big question we've been asking people, and so it's so good to get a perspective from so far away. The big question is why? Why on earth are you a Christian? And we've had varied answers, so I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
So as I talked to you before we started, is I grew up in the church. So like I've always had the faith, but it wasn't until especially like the second half of high school, so maybe like around 16 years old when it started becoming my own. And so just as time goes on and I've grown and I've become more individual in my faith, in a sense, like I'm no longer leaning on my parents or just believing because it's my parents taught me, but because of my own experiences. God has really become my lifeline and also like my reason to keep going as I continue moving on.
Cool. Cool. I like that. So you've gone from church upbringing and all that goes with that to a place of did you go to uni, get a job? What was it that are you still living with your parents? How's that all?
So I'm currently still living with my family. I am attending a 4-year college right now. Just finished my second year. Does not feel right that I'm halfway through college. But what really happened was junior year of high school, so around 16 years old. I went on a missions trip with my high school ministry to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, so across the United States. And while out there, it was really like I was put on my own 2 feet, and I had to rely more on my faith, and I learned more that way. But then when I came back again, I fell back onto my family and parents, and then I got really bad at not reading my Bible all the time or whatnot. I would say the point it officially became my own would be senior year of high school, because that's when like I really started getting hit with trials and learning or whatnot, and my faith growing. And so I had to start relying on the word and making my own because I couldn't rely on my parents anymore for it because they were like they couldn't feed me any more than they already had.
Cool. So that sort of roller coaster of mission trip or whatever, Christian weekend or youth weekend or youth week or whatever is a really common thing that youth pastors, youth workers see all the time. Of you have
Yeah.
and experience, by the way, not just see it and oh look at them, they're doing that. We do it too. Well, we're exactly the same after
It got the nickname at my church of the mountain experience. Like you'd go up on the
yeah.
mountain, you'd get changed, and you come back down, and it was like a battle of like, do I go back or do I stay the way? And more often than not, it's you go
Yeah.
back into your old habits.
And the valley that you experience is just going back to normal. It's not like you're having this massive trial of you're going back into being a persecuted Christian or anything. It's just going back to normal. But it feels
It's
like this depth thing, doesn't
because
it?
like all your distractions are coming back, and so it's like when you're up on the mountain, you're like isolated or whatnot. Like for us, we weren't really like maybe allowed to use our phones, partially because we didn't have internet up there. So it was really like, and I didn't really attend summer camp too much. I didn't like it too much. It was too big. I liked winter camp because it was like by the end of it, you knew everybody. It was like a close knit group, and so when you came back down, you were still friends with them. But it was definitely like going from like you're only playing with each other. We're playing foosball, we're playing cards game, we're playing ping pong and pool and everything like that, and then snowball fights. It's like you're coming back down, and now you have social media screaming at you again. You have school screaming at you again, and everything like that. So it's like all the noise just comes back in, and it's like you're feeling that as you go down the mountain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I'm having so many like flashbacks of pictures of my own youth experiences and other people's as well. Going flip, yeah, how many times have I seen this? And it doesn't get any easier. And it's no matter how much you're warned about it, you still go there. It still happens to you, and it's still a shock. And it's kind of hard to deal with. So, when you had that kind of that dip, whether it happened once or twice or whatever many times, what was it that made you go, you said that in senior year, was it, which is your last year of school, is that right?
Yeah.
Then you had to stand on your own 2 feet. What was it that made you realize that and made you go, right, I'm going to do this?
So it's actually a lot. So summer just before senior year, we had to put down my childhood cat or whatnot. It was my mom's cat. We had to say goodbye to it, and then it's kind of set off this train of events. On my mom's birthday in September, my papa passed away from cancer. He'd been battling it for many years. And then a month later, my nana, on my dad's side of family, also passed away. I had forgotten that she was quite ill. I didn't never process the fact that she was at hospice at my aunt and uncle's house because she went in when I was so young that I was like, oh, she was just living with them because she needed help taking care of herself. So it's kind of a shock to me. And so that's when like I was trying to figure out and dealing with like what is this? I've never gone through grief like this before. Like I've gone to funerals in the past, but I've never been this close to family and just trying to deal with that. And it's like the first year you're really surviving. So then I graduated. Unfortunately, she's my great aunt, but she was more of a grandma to us, wasn't able to make it. But I started writing to her about the school I'm going to, and then she was responding back. So I was starting to get this pen pal relationship going on with her. And then it stopped. And I was really confused. I didn't understand what's going on. But I wasn't too surprised because it's like a bit like she wasn't consistent, but it was like I knew like if it was within a month or period, that's normal. And then I realized as it was my July and it was coming up my birthday, I hadn't heard from her in over a month. And she hadn't responded to my letter. And then my birthday came around and I didn't get the normal birthday card or whatnot. And that's when I started getting worried and talking to my mom about this. She goes, yes, I noticed it too. So we tried reaching out to her. Then we got a call from her daughter, my cousin. She had been in the hospital for 2 months. She had brain cancer. She just got put into hospice. And so in the July, beginning of August, we drove to Phoenix, Arizona, spent a week in her house, which was really weird because she wasn't there with it and had to say our goodbyes to whatnot. And that hit me like a rock. And I really began trying to find my faith again. It was like I was struggling so hard. It was like I wasn't blaming God, but I was confused as to why I was going through this. And it's like I was like down in a dark place. Like I didn't want to keep up and keep going. I didn't understand what was going on. It's like, why my grandma or whatnot? Why three people within a year or whatnot? And then end of August, and what I know is my grandma didn't want a funeral. So when she passed away, she got cremated, and I still don't know what happened to her since then. Um, and then end of August, young adult ministry or whatnot that I had been attending had a summer camp going on. And like I mentioned, I never really went to summer camps. I didn't like them that much. So I said, I'm not going to go or whatnot. And then my older brother was like, he was getting ready to go back to school, so he wasn't going to go. And then apparently somebody in the church donated enough money that pretty much all of us did end up going. Spoiler alert, I did go. Go for free. And like we found like this, we were supposed to leave on Friday. The Sunday before we were supposed to leave, my mom and dad told my brother and I, you guys are going. We're sending you up. So I went up there, and I think I still have my journal somewhere. It was like lesson after lesson. It was just all my questions being answered, just like constantly just hearing him or whatnot. And so like at the very end of it, it's like I went up to during the afterglow or whatnot, something I never do. And pretty much just broke down and said, here's what I've been dealing with, here's what I've been going through or whatnot. And I'm not understanding why I went through this. And that God is preparing me for the next stage of life. He is showing me that he is here for the next stage of life or whatnot as I go into college, and that I'm going to be facing trials in college. And it's like, this is a time for you to grow and to find your own faith. It's time for you to actually land on your 2 feet because of where you're going ahead and where I want to take you. You can no longer lean on your parents. It's time for you to stand on your own.
Wow. Yeah, it's knowing, I guess everyone this last year and a half has been on a kind of, or felt like a similar journey to what you'd been on previous to that, or I guess just previous to that, everyone's felt this sense of loss and abandon and isolation and whatever else.
I felt it again this past year or whatnot, but in a different capacity. Yeah. Actually, one thing I forgot to mention was like I don't try and go up on afterglows. I don't like sharing what I've learned. What I'm like, that's between me and God. That's the lesson I need to take out of it. I don't need to share it with anybody else. And so I was going to go up, even though I was like sobbing silently in the front row or whatnot. Was this somebody just stood up, a friend of mine, and gave the verse in Philemon, I think it is, just Philemon. Like who quotes a verse from Philemon? And it hit home. Hang on, I'm trying to find it. Where is Philemon at? It's a small book. Here it is. Philemon 15. For perhaps he departed you for a while for this purpose, that you might receive him forever. It's like when he quoted that verse, it hit me home. It's like they are gone from the earth for now, but you may see them again in heaven. And it's like knowing that you miss them, but they are still there, if that makes sense. Yeah. And that was really gave me the push. I need to stand up and talk.
Cool. Very cool. And it was just that verse that got you across the line, as it were. That, yeah. And so
yeah,
God,
just a little verse in Philemon, a small little book of the
Bible. God knew that you were right there. And I'd say this is something that I have seen in so many young people, and you're standing behind them normally or to the side, and you're staring at them, and you're going, just go up. Just, for goodness sake, go up. It's time. But they're just not quite ready. And obviously, probably somebody was standing looking at you going, just go up. Well,
there was a leader sitting right next to me or whatnot, and he was just like watching me crying or whatnot. And it's like I'm trying to figure out what was going through his head. It's like, should I comfort her? What's going on with her? Well, then I stand up.
that's what was going through their head. It's like, for goodness sake, just go. Sometimes I have literally said, would you just go up, for goodness sake? And that's been the push they needed. But for you, it was the friend in the verse that made it click for you. And for everyone else, we had a conversation before we started this about never remembering where Bible verses are. We can remember the words, but we really struggle to remember the chapter and verse. And it was amazing that obviously that's one that stuck with you. You were like, I know where that is because it was really important, and God did something with that
Yeah.
that was really meaningful for you. Um, cool. Uh, did I pick up? Well, this is a bit of an aside, so apologies. Did I pick up that from one of your TikToks that you were homeschooled?
Yes.
I think.
Yes. My mom homeschooled me and my two brothers from when we were little to all the way to we graduate. My little brother graduating next year.
Cool. So, and she got you all the way through everything past and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, she did. She dealt with us and our many struggles along the way.
I was going to say, how did you find that? Bearing in mind that you don't have to give her the link for this; she may never see it.
She knows when I'm doing this, so she's probably gonna ask it when I'm done or what. But she did a really good job. I really enjoyed it or whatnot. I did give her a bit of grief in high school or whatnot. But I'm really glad I got to homeschool because it really helped me not to grow up with those peer pressures or whatnot of how you should be and how you should look, and then also me really being able to find my interest and just like dive into them full hard.
Cool. Love it. And so, other than TikTok, which we will come to in a second, what are your interests? What do you like to do?
Um, it's a bit all over the place or whatnot. It's like I think the overall connecting thing about them is they're all very hands-on stuff. So it's like I'm double majoring at my school right now. So the first one, I'm actually creating my own major and I'm combining creative writing and teaching. So like I want to be able to write for kids and I also want to be able to teach kids how to write. And then I'm double majoring in theater. Something I never thought I'd be saying. I never thought I was going to be a theater kid, but my mom's like, yeah, it makes sense. And also look at you on TikTok. I'm going, yeah, that makes sense. But something else I really enjoy is like I actually love construction. I love working with wood. All throughout high school, I went to an all high school girls construction camp for 4 years, whatnot, and we did all sorts of things. I learned how to drive heavy equipment. I helped frame a house and things like that. It was a lot of fun.
Love it.
So yeah, it's all over the place, from like reading to like still live to this day. I want to see space. I want to see space. It's like it's all over the place.
I love that. That's really cool. It's not like I think in school here we tend to the way you pick your subjects and stuff. They tend to start broad and then get narrower and narrower and narrower. But even
creative writing is what's called a concentration of the English department. So it's like, yeah, it's like you go into the department and then from there you can like pick individual strings that you decide to follow.
Yeah. So, but you still even halfway through college, you still kind of have a few options there. Or in my head, when you were describing all that, I was thinking, well, you could write, star in, and build your own scenery for a play. You wouldn't need anyone else. Like you could go cheap. It would be amazing. So
oh my God.
just because you when you say director, you would like be directing literally everybody. Say no, that's not how you do that. I want that built this way, and you act this way, and no, I need that rewritten. If you were a complete control freak, that would be like a dream. Just a little bit. Cool. So I guess you've already sort of hinted at why you started doing TikTok, friends and all that kind of stuff. But how have you found it, and how much TikTok consuming do you do, as well as making? How do you find that?
It's like I originally got on TikTok to talk to a friend to kind of see what they were going in life, but I wasn't really posting any content. It wasn't until in November when in my private personal study that God started telling me I want you to be more verbal. One thing to know is I'm an introvert. I'm not someone who likes being out in front of people all the time. It's like I'm pretty like protective and like quiet into myself or whatnot. So I'm someone like when it comes to theater, I'm like, I will be behind the stage. I'll build all this stuff. I won't be out front performing. And God was like, no, you're out front. and in doing so, he led me to my college Bible study, which I am now teaching or whatnot. And next year I'm going to be the club president of it. So that should be interesting. And then also, so he opened the door for that. And then also says like, you got social media platforms. You have TikTok, go post on that or whatnot. So that's when I started posting in January. But it really varies from week to week, and then also how my mental health is doing. Because sometimes it's like maybe I touch it 1 or 2 times a day, and that's why I just do post videos and then see what my friends are doing. Or it's like I'm stuck in my bed all day, just constantly, endlessly scrolling or whatnot. Or driving my family nuts by having a song on repeat or whatnot as I'm recording this.
Yes, yes, that's exactly what mine's like. And Lynn, my wife, will sometimes walk up. I'm in my dining room at the minute, and it's a through for the kitchen and living room. Sometimes she'll walk through and be like, and then walk through again and go, "You still doing that? Or why are you just listening to that song?" I'm like, "I'm
One thing to
recording.
know is
I'm trying to edit."
I got my mom and dad onto TikTok because it's like my dad, when he found out I was posting TikToks, he joined and started following me or whatnot. I didn't know he was following me for a while, just to like make sure everything was going okay and there wasn't anything going on or whatnot. You know, like being a dad, and I love him for it or whatnot. And then I saw the app on this one going, "You have TikTok or what?" And he goes, "Yeah, maybe." Then my mom confirmed it. It's like, your dad was watching your TikToks and I'm like, sat down and we scrolled through my account or whatnot, trying to find him. We know what his general username's in. We found a pictureless profile or whatnot with one person they're following. That was here, like, found that. We found that. And then my mom is one of the people that I always show my TikToks to. Like, my little brother was actually the first person to find out that I was making TikToks. And so I was like, I would show him my stuff or whatnot, and kind of like I watch gauge his reaction. And if he really liked it, then it's like, it's a go or whatnot, or he'd help me iron some things out. And then when my mom found out, she was also being part of that. So like it's a regular routine or whatnot. When like after she knows like when I make my TikTok, she goes like, "So you got any drafts?" And so then I'll sit down and we'll go through them together or whatnot. And she enjoys watching my stuff, but I don't always not always able to show her. And like if you get your own account, you can watch all my stuff all you want or whatnot, and you don't have to wait around for me to show you. And so she kind of was like a little hesitant at first, but now she's on it or whatnot. She's watching my stuff or whatnot, and it's like, yeah, I got my parents on the TikTok.
Nice. Now there, I was doing a bit of scrolling today, knowing that I'd be chatting to you tonight. It's like what time is it? 12:30 in the morning here in Ireland, and it's 4:30 where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll unfortunately I can't give you all the details of this, so I'm going to tease you, and you may know already. I know you're a fan of VeggieTales.
Oh my god.
Okay, having grown up with it, do you know Matthew West?
Yes.
The Christian
singer. I think I know what you're talking about. I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so is there the Matthew West song has the same intro as a VeggieTales song?
Yes, I've seen that one. I don't have a belly button. Oh my god.
That's the one. So I saw this earlier. I was like, I have to bring that up later, but I could not. But then somebody distracted me in the house. I might have had to change a nappy or something of my son, and was like, click off. And when I clicked back on, it was gone. I was like, oh no.
I know. Yeah. I don't think I have any more either. But it's like I saw that. I'm going, oh no.
yeah, exactly. It's like the way to ruin a song forever, and I do like doing that for people, just like saying something about it. And
yeah, there's a guy that's currently like lovingly trolling me right now. His username is something Fedora. I think you may have seen a little bit of it because I responded to his comments with time, and it's always about, it's like, let's ruin VeggieTales or whatnot. Like,
oh yes,
slushy. Yeah. That looks like berries to me. I'm going, sir, we don't think about this.
Yeah, no. There's some very sort of cruel things in there. if you
ruined Pizza Angel for me. Ruined Pizza Angel for me. Yeah. Sweet Lord, I love that
song. Can't think too hard about it, otherwise you'll just cry.
You shouldn't think too hard about it.
Okay, so the very last question for you, okay, is do you have and I guess you can give a piece of advice with this if you want, but do you have a favorite Bible verse or a Bible verse other than the one you've already shared, of course, because that would be cheating, that has got you through stuff, or that you go back to every now and again?
It varies a lot. I know the one that I'm currently, see if I can find it. It's a psalm, so this it's going to take a bit to find it or whatnot, but
it's not like a 50-50 chance. It's like
yeah, very much so or whatnot. And it's the basic of it's like paraphrasing or whatnot is, the Lord is her shelter. People know that in her time of need, she goes to him first or whatnot, to the king or whatnot. And that was like a verse that recently I've been clinging to as I've been very recently begin battling depression again or whatnot and having to fight with that every day. And so it's like just knowing that that's what I want people to see. I want people to see that when I am going through things, he is my rock. He is the person that is like I'm clinging to because he's the one that's helping me get through each and individual day. Another verse is Galatians 6:9, which is never grow weary of doing good. And that was a verse the Lord brought to me when I was doing kindergarten because I served in children's ministry all throughout high school as well as a bunch of other stuff. My high school was very busy with extracurricular activities. And so it's like those are the two verses. And I think one thing like I would just say is like don't be afraid if you don't have a favorite verse, because it should really be about which verses are speaking to you right now or what song is speaking to you right now. If that's happening, then you know you're growing, you know you're doing okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. Love it. Thank you. I want to say thank you for, and I know we haven't touched on it, but we've already been talking for quite a long time. But I would love to have another chat with you sometime about mental health and stuff like that, because you've been open about having mental health. I'm going to say issues, but that always makes it seem so much bigger than you feel it is. But I suffer from depression as well, and take tablets for that. And I know so many other people that do too, but they tend not to bring it up in places like this and put it out there. Whereas, you've done that already. So thank you for your honesty in that. And I guess when as a youth worker, I'm cheering on young people a lot, but also telling adults how much young people suffer with this kind of stuff. And I know you're a young adult, but it's enough for older people. So just to say, yeah, that there is, it happens and it's okay. And we can talk about it. It's really good. So yeah, if you don't run scared for the hills after this, I would love to at some point have another chat with you and put stuff out there about that kind of thing, because I think that's healthy and good to do, and I'll have to like actually be vulnerable then and not just have a laugh.
Yeah, it's something I'm still learning to be vulnerable about or whatnot. Like it's just like because it's like again, it's like sometimes the church whatnot forgets or like looks at it the wrong way. They look at it as maybe like you're not in your faith or what, you're not trusting in God. And it's like that's not it at all. So it's like you have that protective cone around that. I'm learning to break open and be very open and vulnerable about to relationships in my life, to friends in my life. Like here's my struggle. Please be with me with this.
So I'm just going to talk about it because we're already talking about it. Today I had a conversation on the phone with I'm going to say a government agency because that doesn't give too many details away. I'm not a spy or anything, but they were asking me questions, some health questions about my diabetes. I'm type 1 diabetic, and about depression and stuff like that. And I realized during that conversation that I'd shared more with that lady who I didn't know than I had with some of my friends. And I was like, oh, that's kind of sad. But, and people from church and whatever, I was like, oh, that couldn't be right. Surely that's not a good thing. But yeah, it is something when we turn up at church, isn't it? When we put on a happy face and go, I'm fine, everything's good, praise the Lord. And we forget to just go, I'm having a bad day. I think it's good to get out of the practice of I'm fine. And maybe, I don't know, we're sort of doing face-to-face church, but it's not quite, doesn't feel quite right at the minute because we're still distance and stuff. I'm hoping when we get back to like proper face-to-face of hugging and stuff like that, that will be like, yeah, who needs a hug? I'm here, bring it on, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like, I'm joining someone that's like, if you need a hug, I'll give you a hug, but I'm not someone that's going to immediately go up and hug you unless I know what you want or whatnot. But it's like, when I get back on campus again, when I go into church again, I'm like, screw it, come all over here, all of you. I'm giving you a hug or whatnot. I haven't seen you in over a year.
Love it. That's cool. Yeah, brilliant. Chelo, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for doing this. I feel like I found a kindred spirit in you, and I've loved chatting with you, and hopefully we'll do it again at some point. Keep making your brilliant TikToks and completely destroying youth ministry, as well as lifting it up at the same time, because it is brilliant. Like, and yeah, if it's okay, I like to end these by just praying for you, if that's cool. And yeah, let's pray. Let's pray. God, thank you so much for Chelo. Thank you. Thank you how you have just infused her with a love for you, with gifts and abilities that you've nudged her into using for you, and how she's making a difference by using those, and how she brings some light and laughter to my day, for sure. May her words during this interview be a blessing to all who watch, and may she be a blessing to her family, her community, and everyone she meets on a day-to-day basis. Thank you, God, for everything you do for us. Amen. Amen. Amen.